All right. So hi. It's been 2 years in the making of of me and my buddy Val, or Viveltia. She'll be able to pronounce it much better than myself. I'm terrible with saying usernames. But yeah, the Bookrambles podcast is back, and hopefully, if our schedules allow it, once a month this is going to be a like book club, book podcast thing, because we are both artists and writers and are sluts for literature. We really wanted to do this again because it was so much fun last time. And it ended up happening where just both of our lives got very hectic, and we were both having terrible, terrible issues with our equipment, that it was becoming much more of a hassle. But after much talking, much deliberating, we finally sat back here, and we are back. And yeah, so there's that little intro. Now we're going to introduce ourselves. So you guys know me since you're on my channel, obviously, unless, hi, this is your first time watching my video. Nice to meet you. I am Michelle Marquez. I'm fine saying my last name. My co-host doesn't have to if she doesn't want to. Or TwistedDisaster. And my co-host and good buddy of many years.
Hey! You can call me Val. My nickname is Viveltia. My full name, I don't mind saying it. It's Valerie Stepan, but it's a mouthful.
Well, no, I just know that some people are iffy saying their full name, and I respect that, so I always want to be, like, respectful.
Sure.
So
no, I don't mind people who know me know, like,
yeah. Well, to me, I'm like, it's on my PayPal, and it's on my Etsy when people buy stuff, so it's not really like I'm hiding it. But anyway. Same. To bring back the oh my god. All right. So normally what we used to do, and what we will probably do for the next one, because is it bad that we're more excited for November's book than we are for this one?
Okay, hold on. The initial plan was, because we wanted to have a video for October and we had only 2 weeks left before October, we wanted to pick a book that wasn't so long, that was light, and probably very bad. So we just, I think it took us 10 minutes to find that thing?
Yeah, it really did.
Because it was free for me, I think it was like $2 or $3 for you.
It was $3 for me. So if you live in the Canada, like Val does, it's free. I had to pay for it, which I'm gonna talk about in a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just quick note: it's not free anymore.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's right now. Hold on. The page just reloaded. Okay.
It's fine.
It's if you have Kindle Unlimited, it is free, but otherwise it's like $1.31.
That's still less than what I paid for.
Yes,
so,
yes it is. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay. I will be honest. If this book was 99 cents, you know what? I think it would be worth it.
It's not a total waste of time.
It's not. Okay. This book did not make me angry. I have only ever had 3 books in my life make me angry and make me want a refund. It takes a lot for me to actually hate on a book. So I have a lot of critiques though, because this book had
there's a lot to say. There's
a lot to say. So let's get into let's just get into the title of the book. Obviously, if you can already see the title in the title of the video, but the title is #Vampire Dead and Unusual by Gary Gisling.
Okay, let me say this in French.
It's French.
Gary Gisling.
Yeah, he is a French writer that writes in English, and that's gonna be something I also have a note on. Oh, I have a lot of notes on this guy.
Yeah. Well, there's not much online about him.
Besides his synopsis,
I did find a small bio on Goodreads, but it's not saying much, aside from the fact that he's French, from France, and he moved around. He traveled a lot, and he learned English at an early age, and he was bilingual pretty fast, and he wanted to write in English. So it's not as if we had a book that was translated. That's literally his writing.
Which I feel... Oh, God. Okay, so I have some notes on the author before we get into it, but first...
Okay.
Should I go into the notes about the author, or should we go into the synopsis of the book? I'll leave this up to you.
Okay, we should start with the synopsis.
Okay, do you want to read the synopsis? Because you already have the page up, so all right.
Yep. Okay, here goes. Destiny means everyone is here on Earth for a good reason. Elise's reason was Johann Devereaux, the most popular boy in her high school.
Oh my god.
That was until new strange tenants moved in the penthouse of her building in Paris and turned her into one of them, a vampire. Running after Johann becomes an entirely different sport, and exclusively at nighttime activity. But if Johann is finally warming up to a girl who can fly or materialize in his room whenever she feels like it, their love is forbidden by Vincent, the master bloodsucker who turned her. To live happily ever after, they need to destroy him and his spell on her. They enroll an aging writer specialized in real-life paranormal activities, and their improbable team goes vampire hunting while trying to stay alive from dusk to dawn. That's it.
All right, so... I should also say this because this is really important, because I was going to make a joke about this, and then I actually looked into the writer, and now I'm not comfortable making the joke anymore. This isn't a joke, this is just a thing. So I've openly admitted that one of my best guilty pleasures is I love going on Amazon, I love going to the self-published section, and finding really bad paranormal literotica. And so when I read the synopsis and everything here, and I thought about it, I'm like, oh, it's just another bad porn book, and it is not. There is none of that in here. But I also found out, because I have to get my handy dandy notes, because I wrote my notes on paper, because Val lost her notes. So,
yep. It wasn't on paper.
Yeah. So I'm old school. That's why. But so when I read his bio, this is the author. Before we get into the book, real quick. His bio said that he has a master's in literature and linguistics, which I'm gonna be real, I don't understand with how many grammar mistakes were in this book and how bad.
Doesn't mean it makes him a good writer.
No. Here's the thing, because it said that it said in his bio he was a critically acclaimed, multi-award winning middle school horror writer of The Ghouls Next Door. Yes. And I originally thought, because we had read another book where the person was like a New York Times bestseller or something, but when we looked into it, we couldn't find anything else. So I really thought, this sounds really mean, I honestly thought that this was bullshit. It's not. I looked on Goodreads. His series, The Ghouls Next Door, is like fully published through Penguin Random House. It's in bookstores. It's a lot of middle schoolers' like favorite book series. He's also written a book that this sounds fake, but it's a real book, and it was How I Stole Johnny Depp's Alien Girlfriend. Oh, yeah. And I remember being like, this is fake. I remember reading this after I read the book. So I read his bio after I read the book and being like, this is a middle schooler trying to self-publish because Amazon doesn't really have a lot of limitations on self-publishing. Yep. And then I looked into it and I felt like such an asshole. I'm like,
those things are true. They are.
But I want to know what happened here. I want to know how a man who's a critically acclaimed author for a apparently beloved middle school horror series.
Okay, hold on.
Write a book.
My theory is that The Ghouls Next Door were actually published by an actual publisher, and they had proofread and asked him to make some like corrections and stuff. But this one, he self-published, and although it's not perfect, the story has potential.
That's what I'm saying. No, you are very right there. When you are published, they have multiple editors and rewriters, so you are 100% right there. That's probably what this case was. There are also, at the time of recording this, I don't know if it's still there, there are no reviews on Amazon.
There is one.
There's one? There's a review? What? How many stars is it? How many stars is it?
5 stars. And it just says, it just says great. And
Oh.
someone said that this was helpful.
Oh,
I
baby, no!
well,
Okay, all right. So, there is this. Oh my god. Okay, so this normally what we like to do is we try our best to have a like non-spoiler section and then go into spoilers. That can't happen here because there's just things I need to talk about and Val needs to talk about. And
oh yeah.
so, I'm just gonna give my rating right now. So, 1 out of 5, 1.5 stars or 1.5 books for me because I didn't hate it and it had a lot of potential, but there were just so many mistakes here. There were, especially for someone who is critically acclaimed and this isn't their first book. And it sounds
And they have like studies in writing.
in literature. Yeah. You openly have in your bio you have a master's. And again, this isn't to be mean on the author. This is an honest thing. I honestly thought that a middle schooler published this on Amazon. And then I looked into it and I was very wrong. And if somehow this gets to Gary, I am very sorry, but you need an editor. Because this did have a lot of potential and a lot of things that I was actually surprised at to have my disappointment just shattered. And so, yeah, Val, what is your rating?
Okay. Mine, I'm gonna give it 2 stars because one of the critical fact here that I wanted to point out is that even if there are a lot of mistakes and the grammar sometimes is throwing you a curveball, you eventually like get around it, and I was having a hard time putting it down. Seriously. So it was not like, oh geez, I have to finish this book. No, I really wanted to know what was going to happen, even though it was a complete jumble of stuff,
it was
of ideas. But the base premises are pretty nice.
Yes,
legit.
and here
I didn't think it would be like this.
Yeah, and here this is something I will say. If you have Kindle Unlimited already, then I say go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
But I would not spend more than $2 on this book because I don't see myself rereading this book.
Oh no.
Ever again. Am I completely turned off from Gary? No, I actually honestly I am considering, this wouldn't be a book rambles, but I'm considering checking out that middle school book just to see, like,
yeah,
you know, and because that is another.
Then it did it edited in a good way.
Yeah,
because the thing is, usually when you read vampire stuff, you have certain tropes that comes back and everything. I really didn't think that we would have a story about a girl who turns vampire, who wants to have who was in love before that, and like she's fucked. Yeah. But the way people turn into vampires and the way you have to kill the vampires is completely new to me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it does seem like something that would make sense.
Yes. All right. So there's our very quick non-spoiler review if you want to check it out. Because I know there are some people who, in our old videos, I would get comments of, like, they would get to the halfway point, stop, they would actually read the book, and then come back and finish the rest. So, if you want to do that with this one, go right ahead.
Are you going to put the spoiler thing on the...
I don't think so, because I openly said in the beginning this one's not going to be long. But, I mean, okay, I will ask you guys, because I know a lot of people just put this on the background. For the next one... do you want me to put the spoiler tag up on screen when spoilers are showing? Just say so in the comments so I know, because if not, then I'll just leave it basic. But it did help. It's so. All right. Okay. So spoilers. Right. Let's go into some pros before we go into the critiques. I don't want to say cons because, again, we both agreed there was a lot of potential here. It was just... there's a lot that I feel like again, I feel like if he had an editor, it would have been a lot more cohesive, and this actually probably would have been a really, really good story.
Yes.
All right, so
of course. Okay, first, I think we have to address maybe the characters in the whole. I wanted to point out that of all the characters in there, the only one whom I didn't want to punch in the throat was Arno.
Yeah, no one is likable in this book. Like,
no,
like everyone is an asshole except for the writer, which we're gonna get into the writer character. We're gonna get into him in a little bit because I literally had a crisis before recording this, learning something. So, but yeah, I didn't like the writer character either. But yeah, everyone. This is not a pro. I know we said starting with pros, but no one in this story is really likable. Like,
but hold on, I think it is a pro because the way I hated them wasn't like, oh my gosh, I can't have any more of this. I really wanted, because they felt like real people, like real douchey people.
Okay, I'll have to.
It would have been nice to have a likable character.
I will agree with you on that. I just one of my big critiques is that there were so many times where the characters would say something and I would have to say it out loud because I'm like, a person would not say this.
No.
There were many times that you're right. But there were some times in the dialogue that oh my god, I literally highlighted some passages because I'm sitting here and I'm like, people don't. I wrote this down as a note. So the dialogue, I don't know if you guys have this in Canada or not, but the dialogue, I wrote the note down as, it is literally like a Hallmark / ABC Family, like, original movie. like just the way they talk, because there were so many, I couldn't even write them all down. There were so many weird quotes and analogies, like, where I remember reading this and being like, who is this for? And that's another thing. I honestly do not know the age demographic that this was for, because there are times, There are
times it feels like it's for teenagers, and other time it feels like it's for, like, more of young adults, like, but it's because of the whole author's arc.
Yeah.
Because aside from that, it's like a high schoolers who talk like they.
It's a high schooler that talks like they're on Disney Channel. You know what I mean? So you don't really talk
on their phone. Like, it's not much of a conversation. It sounds like something you would put on a text.
Yeah, and again, this is a thing where, now that I know that the author is actually an adult, I'm sorry that I keep bringing this up. It seems more like it's someone who thinks they understand how young people talk, and not actually how they talk.
Well, it could be that way in France. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. That's the thing. Okay, I guess we should point that out. The book takes place in France, and I've never been to France. I did,
but like a really long time ago.
So, if there are things that we say are wrong or are confused, it's because myself as an American, there were parts where I'm like, is this actually how France is? Or is this how, like, a person thinks how France is? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But,
well, they did live in France, so I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes the way they wrote stuff, it seemed like they wanted to make it more like, I don't know, it felt like we were in Brooklyn at some point.
It did. It really did. Like, and I've never been to New York, but it did. It really felt like you watched a TV show or a movie, and that was your, like, your shaking point. So, okay. A pro.
Okay, we've got. Can we point out the fact that the title, #vampire, I'm pretty sure it has to do with the way the two girls in the beginning of the book talk to each other. Sometimes they would go like #something, #something. to
make
a statement.
But
it didn't last throughout the book.
That's what I was gonna say, like, because they did start that, and oh my god, I'm not gonna lie, that for this start was hard. The start was really hard for me to get through because it was really, really cringy. Because like Val said, there's literally, I didn't highlight that one passage, but there is a part where they're in like a class and they're talking and they're like, hashtag bored, hashtag relatable, like, and they're going back and forth with it. So Val was right. So I thought maybe that would be a reoccurring thing, but it's not. And one pro, I gotta get this pro out because every time I try, we go back into critique. So the actual vampire lore is really original. Like, which is why I'm sitting here like, there was a lot of potential here. What I really liked is when you turn into a vampire, you pretty much like leave your body. Like,
your body dies, and then your kind of ghost materialize, but
you can
can interact with stuff. It's just that's the reason why there's no reflection, and then if you're exposed to the sun, you basically just poof.
Which is okay. That was something I liked too. I liked that you didn't burn. Now, if you guys don't know, I'm a vampire tard. I have a vampire story, so I like vampire stuff. But like, they kept a lot of the like, oh, we need to be invited in. Oh,
and the reason they say that is because, people don't want to have dead people in their house.
Yeah,
that's why you can't get in.
Yeah, and it's
unless you're invited.
Yeah, which was again was really creative. Another thing, this is something I genuinely loved because I thought it was really creative. So the main character, Elise, she dies in this god awful PE outfit.
Oh yeah.
Like oh my god, they
electric blue shorts,
a leather jacket. Which is another thing is I'm like, what? This is another thing
that sucks because the thing is, when you die and you get back as a vampire, you are stuck with the clothes you died in.
Yeah, and they talk about that because Vincent wore like a Victorian kind of suit, not like Arno's, but it was like, and he even like makes a one-off comment. Vincent's the asshole vampire. I guess he's the most douchey out of everybody. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Everyone's a douche, but yeah, I guess he's king douche. But he talks about how, like, yeah, it's a good thing you weren't naked when you died. That would have been awkward. So it's and like, that actually made me chuckle. And I remember being like, that's actually really smart. Because there's this whole scene where she, like, takes her jacket off and throws it on the ground and turns around and it's, like, back on her body. And it's not just electric blue shorts. They focus on the shorts a lot. But they're also, like, I remember it's, like, god-awful. I think it was, like, bright pink leg warmers or something. And
oh, yeah. Well, it's because she was in her PE suit, but like her and her friend, they like to dress up like really eccentric. It seems to me like they like 80s
aesthetics
style clothes. Yeah.
Which also, like, I wouldn't mind that so much if in other chapters it, like, drastically changes from the other points of view of what they're wearing.
Oh, yeah.
Because when they first said that they just liked, like, hipster 80s stuff, I remember being like, okay, that's different. And, like, her and her friend were, like, outcasted because they liked dressing really retro and stuff. Mm-hmm. And again, I liked that. I thought that was really interesting, but we'll get into the other points of view in a minute because that's the other points of view. By the way, there's multiple points of view in this story. Just be prepared.
You never
for
go
that.
back to one character. It starts with the character and then it changes as the story.
Yeah, and oh god, honestly, that's the only positive I have is the vampire lore was really original and neat, and I liked that. I liked that they can, like, shape shift and change if they really wanted to, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I did like that they fed off of, like, fear and life force instead of blood. I thought that was also very creative. But
they don't really need blood. They just want to kill people. Thing.
They get off on the thrill. And so let me get to my notes because we're already oh god. All right. Okay, so every point of view except for like Arno's, because Arno's weird. Let's talk about Arno for a minute, because we both...
Yeah, I think he's the only one who's...
who you can stand? Because I didn't really like him. I just could stand him.
And he's consistent throughout the story.
Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, literally every...
No matter whose point of view you're reading,
they change.
He's consistent.
Yeah. Arno's the only one that makes sense, and then, like... Yeah. But it's true, when you get to... Because it also... Nowhere does it lead you into thinking that this is going to be a multiple point of view book.
No.
At all? So when
maybe at the beginning when you see the the title of the chapter.
That's true. So I remember being like, okay, it was gonna jump back to Elise, because Elise is the main character. Nope, you never get her point of view again.
Nope.
And oh my god, when the Johan, however his name is said, I don't know how to say it. I'm not French, so
Johan.
Is it Johan? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, again, I'm not trying to insult.
Or maybe Johan.
Maybe it is Johan.
Yeah.
Maybe that is it. Maybe we're both I was really bad at pronouncing it.
I think the character who changes the most in between the point of views is Charlie. Charlie is Elise's best friend.
Charlie and Elise, because Charlie does a whole... I mean, Elise does a whole 360, which I have a note on, so...
I mean, in the first chapter, when it's Elise's point of view, Charlie seems like a really good person who's...
Yeah, like a best friend and sister, kinda...
Yeah, and who's, like, pretty observant and attentive to everything, but, like, when you're in... Johan's point of view, Charlie looks like a total bimbo who can't read people.
Yeah, and I don't understand. So the point of having multiple points of view in a book, I should know, I've done a lot of research on this, because in one of my stories, it switches points of view quite a lot.
Okay.
The point of view chapters is to get different perspective and thoughts on the main character of the chapter. So you can have a point of view in a different book. George R.R. Martin's a really good example. It's just the first one that pops in my head. Of everything is still written in third person, but when you have a chapter that is like a Daenerys or a Jon or a whatever, you get to have their inner thoughts and their inner turmoil mixed in with everyone else's characters going on. So it's mostly to get in the character's head while you're still understanding this story. When the point of views jump, here's where it feels very jumbled and an editor would have been necessary, because the characters in all of them, except for Arno, they're all different people. Like, it literally feels like a different writer wrote every point of view, because...
hold on. Arno and Vincent. Vincent is consistent.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
the vampire.
That's true. Yeah, but I mean, that's not really a good. That's not.
Well,
really.
It
is true, but.
It would have been nice to have, like. It seems like all the humans are just like.
Well, they change so drastically. So, okay, the perfect example. We're just gonna go right into it.
Okay.
Elise. Here was one of the things that I was disappointed. So when you get to Elise, when you get done with Elise's thing, Arno pretty much explains to her, like, hey, you have to kill something or you're gonna die. But I remember there's this, like, really sweet moment between Arno and Elise where he tells her, like, in his own weird way. I'm, like, saying it a lot better because he talks weird. But he pretty much says it where it's like, I don't think you could ever kill somebody. It's not in you. And and it was a really big thing. And she was like, oh, thanks. And they kind of had this, like, little bonding character growing moment. But the second you get to fucking Johan's chapter, or Johan, I'm going to call him Johan from now on. Because that just seems to make more sense. Like, now that you said it that way. But when we get to his chapter and when Elise shows up, she acts just like Vincent. Like, she's suddenly a big bitch. She's like evil and snarky. Yeah, and she's like, she like openly admits that she like gets her rocks off now killing rats. And the reason why I bring this up is because when I was reading this, I remember thinking, oh, that's pretty clever. Because in an earlier chapter, in an Elise chapter, there's this part where Vincent is teaching Elise how to like hunt, and he pretty much tells her like, once you have a prey in your mind, you know, a person that you're gonna hunt, it's like, once you have that prey, you can like mess with them. You can make yourself look however you want, and you can make them just fall for it. So I remember being like, when we got to this part where Elise was because at this point, like, Elise has been missing for even because Elise was missing when she finger quote died
for a month.
Yeah, for a month, and then she came back, and then she went missing again, and she went missing for about 2 weeks, I believe, after that. So she like had a total character development in like 2 weeks, because when she shows back up, I remember thinking like, it's Vincent. This is Vincent pretending to be her to kill Johan. Or just to fuck with her, because he's a douche. And I swear to God, I was reading it, and I'm like, that's where we're going with this. That's where it's happening. That legit, yeah. That when I was reading it, that's what I thought it was going. And then, then, like, they're having a moment with her and Johan. Elise and Johan are having this moment, and then she's like, "Oh, Vincent's gonna find you. You can't be here." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" I legit said that out loud. And I was like, wait, this wasn't... Then what was the point? Like, what was the point of having that whole hunting... Because that was a whole chapter in Elise's POV.
Yeah.
Of Vincent explaining, once you set your eyes on a person to be your prey, that's it. They're kind of screwed. Which is also a really cool little vampire thing. Because, like... Yeah. Johan talks about how she's like in his room, and he's like seeing her everywhere, and I'm like, it's Vincent. It's Vincent.
He's obsessed.
Yeah,
He's definitely obsessed.
Yeah, it's yeah.
That's another part that irked me a little bit, because let's just point out that Johan is Elise's love interest in the beginning of the book, but that guy is, I call him McDouche. He's got a girlfriend who's a total hysteric girl.
Oh my God. Okay, his girlfriend is literally, that's why I wrote down like ABC Family Hallmark. His girlfriend is the definition of the douchey, slutty girlfriend that you're like meant to hate in movies. In all of the rom-coms I ever watched as a kid, it was always, you know, it was the girlfriend that you're like, why is he with her? Like you shouldn't be with her. Like that is literally Marianne's like entire character. Miriam, however, I don't even remember how her name is.
So it's Marianne. But
but yeah.
Another thing to point out is that Elise is basically stalking Johan.
Yeah, and this is keeping
throughout the first part of the book, and he doesn't even care about her. He just knows she exists, and that's barely it.
Yeah,
so by the time she's a vampire and she sets her mind on him, I'm like, okay, but he's not in love with her. He's just like responding to her vampire.
Yeah, that's how it's written, and that's how it's written. And like, there's this. Oh my God. Okay, so here's where I also thought that like she was Vincent. So there's this party. There's this party.
Right.
There's this party scene. The whole party scene's written terribly. Like,
yes.
Again, I understood what they wanted to do, but it was so bad.
I mean, it makes you hate the characters even more.
Yeah, because like there's this whole part where they're at a party, because I was under the impression, maybe I read it wrong, but I was under the impression that Johan invited her to the party, but then I went back through to double check, and the writer, who we're gonna keep calling him the
writer.
Yeah, we're gonna keep calling him the writer for a little bit more, because we gotta talk. There's stuff to talk about with the writer character, because there's a writer character in it who's like a teacher, kind of. It's weird. He
teaches people how to write stories. About vampires.
He has like a little tiny like after school, because he's not a part of their high school. He's got
no. It's more like a book club.
It's like a
writer club.
Yeah. But that's another thing too. Everyone in this book is supposed to be in high school except for the writer, and
he's at the party
again. Yeah, the writer invites Elise and everyone else to this high school party. Wasn't it at Marianne's house too? Like the party was at because that's right, because she was freaking out that her parents were dead. So there's a lot of weird red flags here. But anyway, there's a part where like out of nowhere Johan starts acting like a douche. and Elise is like having this monologue of like, that's not Huion, and then it's like, oh, it was the most stereotypical, like, what people think stoners sound like, because he got like really high off of pot brownies, which is also why I'm like, I don't know what age demographic this is for, because that's another thing, because this has to go into the party. I'm sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, but I have a lot on this because I have questions. So Huion gets really, really high, and then, stuff happens, whatever. And he ends up going to the roof and, like, dicking around on the roof. And, Elise, like, goes after him and everything. And everyone's freaking out that this teenager is just, being stupid and high on a roof. And he ends up falling. And so what ends up happening,
falling, and Elise saves him.
She saves him, and that's where I thought, because he described, when you get to the Huion chapter, he describes her like wrapping herself around him and like putting her face in his neck, like she's an angel. And then I'll get back in it later. But anyway, there's a scene when like they get him down, and he's like down, and Elise is gone, and everyone else is like, "Oh my god, dude, you bleeping!" And they wrote bleeping in it, like in the sentence, "You almost bleeping died." But then in like 2 paragraphs later, they say "shit" and "asshole," and I'm like, what?
I think maybe it was because of the fact that it was through someone else's point of view, and someone else, maybe another person, would not censor themselves. I don't know. It makes no sense.
It makes no sense, and it's so weird, because it's like, why? There's also another, like, in the very beginning, we totally brushed past this, but there's
and at this point, I want to point out that being a vampire, Elise has quite a change of character. I was like thinking that maybe she would see how much of a douche Huion is, and he treats her like garbage.
Yeah, and he treated her like
who has that little self-respect that they would keep on loving someone like that.
Yeah, and the thing is too, he was always a douche to her, always. So this wasn't like a change in heart thing.
No,
a change in heart is when he suddenly is like in love with her, because that is the most example of insta love I ever read.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so I'm gonna tell you where I thought this was going, though, with the whole her hugging him and everything. And
okay,
when you get to the Huion chapter, everyone's talking about how like pale he was. Now he's acting weird and no. And his mom brings up, not once, but twice, how his room smells really, really bad, because he's been, like, grounded, so he hasn't really left his room, so no one's really seen him. So I thought this was my writer brain. Yeah, I thought Elise was Vincent. I thought Vincent turned him so that he would, like, be, like, a dumbass and go out into the sun, And I remember, like, that's gonna be a plot twist. The mom or Elise or someone's gonna find his, like, dead body in the closet. And that's legit where I thought it was going. And then it's like,
that would have made more sense.
Right? Like, they're, like, leading it. Because, again, his mom brings up, and his friends, too. His friends bring up how, like, they haven't really seen a lot of him because he was grounded. And his mom really brings up that his room is smelling really, really bad. And, like,
and
even
his girlfriend.
Yeah, his girlfriend. And he, like, there's even a part where he, like, goes to go in somewhere, but he, like, actually waits to be invited because he's, like, on his phone or something. And I was like, oh, this is a pretty smart idea. No, I guess he just has a really smelly room, and he was just really pale for, like, 3 chapters.
Yes.
Like, there was no other reason for it, and it just seemed so... It seemed so weird, and, like, God, so did the whole whiplash of, like, him and Elise's relationship, because there's, like, a whole, like, it's literally the same scene. It's literally the same scene, because I wrote a note down on that. I wrote a note saying, accidentally says I love you, 5 paragraphs later, he's terrified of her.
Yeah.
because it's literally like 5 paragraphs later, they have this like makeout scene, and she looks kind of creepy for a minute. He just said he loves her, and then it's like, oh, monster, you're a monster, and I'm like,
that's why I thought, okay, he thinks he's in love with her because of her powers.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Nope, we were wrong.
We were wrong because apparently
we were wrong.
Apparently, like, you find out that if you kill the vampire master, his victims who turn vampire can be
saved,
revived.
Yeah, which is also
because
weird.
They have to keep their bodies safe and everything.
Yeah, the bodies don't rot. They do point this out that the bodies won't rot unless there's a chapter where Arno talks about it to Elise shortly after she changed, where she says something along the lines of like. Or Arno says something like, yeah, the body only rots once you disappear or you vanish or something. So, like, your body's in this weird, like, preserved state. So, yeah, and then, like, there's this whole, like, weird...
But see, like, Johan's feeling doesn't seem to change when Elise is back being human.
Yeah, so. And they're, like, again, it's meant to be like, oh, this is so cute. And then, like... Oh, they did the cliche.
To me, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And they did the cliche. Of when he broke up with his girlfriend, when he broke up with Marianne, she texted him being like, something like, oh, you're a douche and I'm fucking your best friend. And he was like, oh, well, now I lost my best friend and my girlfriend in the same day. And I'm like, why aren't you more angry that your best friend was boning your girlfriend? Like, what?
Hold on. He doesn't even seem to care.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care anymore. And they say early on that he'd been dating Marianne for, like, 2 years or something, like, before this moment.
Yeah.
And it's just,
and, like, he's closer to Arno than he is to, I think it's Eric, his best friend.
Eric is the one that slept with Marianne, yeah.
Well, no, he didn't, actually. Marianne just said, like, I'm gonna do this, and then his friend is like, no, dude, like, she just said that to make you angry.
Oh, I must have blacked that out. I legit did not remember that.
I was like, no one's gonna sleep with her.
God, she's such a bitch. Like, again, she's such a movie bitch. Like, this, like, when you think of a movie bitch character, yeah. Oh, my God. And then, like... And then there's Charlie, where, like, again, like Val said, Charlie goes from, like, cool best friend, maybe has a little bit of self-confidence issues, to, like, really weird, horny stalker.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because there's, like, a whole point.
Oh, and can we talk about that curveball at the end? Where I think Vincent tells her, like, oh, but you want Elise. You're into women.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
I was like, what?
What? Like, where was this?
Coming from nowhere.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm all into adding LGBTQ plus storylines, but this came out of nowhere.
No, this was done so terribly. This was done as like, and there was no foreshadowing to it whatsoever. Oh, no. Especially when she has the like, cause she like really wants to fuck Johan.
Oh yeah.
Oh
like,
my God,
she's in her place, and she set
up candles.
The part that irks me is that he's saying, "I'm coming to your place to see Elise because Elise visits Charlie during the night."
Yeah, and she gets jealous.
I want to see Elise, and Charlie's like, "Oh, he wants to fuck me." No, girl.
Hold on, while you say that, keep talking, because that was a passage I highlighted, but I didn't write down. So I have the Kindle app open right now. So I'm just
that part made me so mad. I was like, "What the hell?" Like he's approached Charlie in order to get closer to Elise, and he tells Charlie that. He's open about it. He's not asking her out or anything. He's like, I want to see her more. I want to know more. I don't want Elise. It's always about Elise. So I'm like, why does Charlie think he wants to sleep with her?
Yeah.
Why does she think he's interested in her? Like he's just basically not using her, but because he's like, he's open about it. He's like,
he is using her. Like there was that whole scene where like he had her pay for his beers at a bar.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, I guess this is true. I guess in France the legal age is like 15 or something. So
I don't know.
I know that you can drink alcohol at, like, in high school. I do know that. Unless
Really?
it changed. Yeah, like when I took when I took French in high school, they were telling us how, like, yeah, like you could drink. But you could only have,
I don't remember.
You could only have, like, beer and wine, which is probably why he ordered beer. But, like, okay, so I had to highlight this passage cuz I have it right here. It's so
Okay.
So he goes to Charlie after this weird, awkward scene of him making her buy his beers while he's talking to her. And he pretty much asks her, like, hey, do you think Elise is going to come? I want to talk to her. And she's like, yeah, she shows up sometimes. No, I'll be at my place. So, like, they go to he goes to her place, to Charlie's place. And, she ends up, like, making it into, like, a sex den, and there's no other way to say it besides that.
Oh,
like,
no.
She's got, like...
That's exactly
she's
it.
like got, like, pillows everywhere. They describe that there's, like, candles everywhere. There's, like, food and everything. And, like, he even,
and
like...
she really wants him to watch a movie with her.
Yeah. And, like, he's really confused. And even he's like, hey, can we, like, blow some of these candles out? Like, the fuck, bitch, what's going on? Because legit, that was one time I could relate to Johan. I'm like, yeah, bitch, what the fuck? What is going on? Because, like, they both seemed, in the beginning, like... Oh, God. Like, we're so heated because this just gave us something. They both seemed like two high school girls that have a crush on a guy. Like, they made, like, a couple of, like, kind of suggestive comments in the beginning. But, I mean, when I was in high school with my best friends talking about anime crushes, I was the same fucking way. You know, it's like, there's a difference than being
once the guy is in the room with you, you're not like...
Yeah, and you literally make a sex den, because that's what it was. And then, like... And she's so weirdly possessive about him watching this movie with her.
Yeah.
Like, okay, because I had to write this down. I had to highlight this. This is an actual quote from the book. And it was like, because, shit, they say some, like, she says some movie names off, and he goes off like, ew, no, I don't want to watch that, whatever. And so, a line, just to have a taste of the writing for this book, we can watch a non-Timberlake movie, Breakfast Club, that's awesome. Charlie then takes the computer on her lap to start the movie. And then it's like, I didn't come here to watch a stupid movie, rubbing my eyes painfully. And then it's like, Charlie sniffles it's spelled wrong. I'm trying to read it the way it's written, and it's spelled wrong, so yeah. And it's like, it's not a stupid movie, silly. It's about love and friendship and being true to yourself. And it's like, okay, not to be mean here, and I know they're all into the 80s aesthetic, but I didn't even see Breakfast Club until I was, like, in college, because Breakfast Club came out before my time. And these are supposed to be kids that are, like, alive now, like, they're 17 now in 2019. And... it's, like, also just the weird way he said, like, I've never known anybody, and I've known a couple dude bros back in high school when, like, Johan is supposed to be, and I've never seen them be like, oh yeah, I don't like any of those, like, Justin Timberlake motherfuckers or something, but they don't say motherfucker, like, it was just really weird, like, it was one of those ones where I had to stop and, like, say it out loud, because I'm like, a person wouldn't say this.
Nope.
And yeah, and then, like, Elise shows up, and Charlie is suddenly, like, really weirdly pissed that Elise is, like, there. when like, and then the weird thing was, I guess Elise and Charlie had plans to watch movies, because Elise is like, yeah, I come here and we watch movies, but then, like, when Johan's there, and, like, he and Elise are talking, suddenly Charlie is, like, really weirdly jealous of Elise being to Johan, not, like, Johan being to Elise. So that's why when that plot twist comes, it literally came off as, hey, she's gay! This is now an LGBT book, by the way. Instead of, like, I don't know, maybe she was like... There was no build-up, and it seemed very much like tokenism. It literally seemed like, oh, by the way... here's a plot twist you weren't expecting. And it's like, just because I wasn't expecting it doesn't mean it's a good plot twist. In fact, the suddenly I'm gay, I'm trans, I'm blah 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 plot twist.
And there is no, like, It's just like basically someone just screamed outside the window, "I'm gay," and that's it.
Yeah,
it. It's not like they don't talk about it after that.
Yeah, and it was just so.
So it's like, okay, let me plug this in.
Yeah, like I said, it's
hey,
like
this podcast is sponsored by NordVPN. I'm kidding, but like hey,
hey,
like that.
Hey, NordVPN. I mean, if you want to hit us up, I won't say no. I will not say no to a sponsor. Same for Skillshare. Oh my god, this is so bad. But anyway,
hold on.
Yeah.
We've been going at this for an hour, I think.
Oh crap. Okay, but we're not even done. Okay.
And it's such a small book. It's like 200 pages, guys.
We finished this book, but it's just there's so many what the fuck. All right, let's go into the writer. So we were talking okay, so the writer character, I legit did not realize.
You forgot.
No, I know. I did not forget. I did not realize until you pointed it out that so there's a point of view for the writer character that seems to me like it made no sense.
Story.
Yeah, it literally felt like, okay, now we're reading a vampire epic about like hunters and stuff. Yeah, no, it's thrown in here, and so the writer character's name is Gary, and
just like,
and so like I legit before we even recorded the podcast, I had to like scroll back, and I'm like, no, don't be a self-insert. Don't be a self-insert. Oh shit, he is.
Yes.
The writer of the book put himself
in the book
as the like vampire hunter's savior. And it makes no sense for the plot, because that's also still like, yo, why did the writer invite everybody to this 17-year-old's house for a party?
His whole part.
Does that happen in France? This is actually a question. Like, is this normal and we're just weird? Because
I don't know. But
really
hold on. Let's say that he was invited to the party in the beginning because Marianne and Johan goes to his
class.
Like, his writing classes, and they like him. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But who invites us a teacher?
Yeah, to like a high school drinking drug party. Like, okay.
Yeah, like, okay, you be the chaperone, of course.
Oh my god. But yeah, there's and that's like a weird subplot where like he goes to talk to a priest and the priest is murdered, and then you get to this lady and she's there's just that the whole Gary chapter's a hot mess to where I literally blacked it out to when Val was like,
it's only there to explain how they knew how to kill a vampire.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Because that's like he learns that to kill a vampire you basically have to separate the head from the body of his actual body, not his
you have to decapitate the corpse pretty much. You can't just kill the normal version. That or somehow get him to like go outside in the sun or something. Like that's the only way.
But like the way it's described, it seems like it's impossible. And the poor guy is in an accident, and he's like he's got his leg is broken, and he still manages to kill the vampire. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, there's another vampire, by the way. That I totally forgot about, because it's literally only in the Gary chapter.
But he's not important.
It's not, and and honestly, I normally complain about like finding a book or finding the answer on Google, but if you could have literally ripped the entire Gary chapter out to being something like, hell, you could have had it be where Arno somehow knew about it, because it could have been something Vincent told him.
He knows because Vincent has him destroy the medallion that's supposed to protect people from vampires.
Yes, that's what I mean. So it's like, so Arno could have Arno, because Arno wants Vincent dead. Arno hates Vincent too. So it's one of those things where it's like, it could have easily been done with like, how do we kill him? And then Arno's like, oh, we gotta find a way to take the head off the body. And it literally, like, that entire thing would have literally gotten rid of the whole Gary point of view chapter, because...
Yeah, hold on. The only thing that Arno didn't know is that once you kill the vampire, everybody who he turned will be back to life again.
That's true. So... But at the same time, it's like, that would have been a little cool. It just... I
just realized that we didn't say, like, Arno is a... kind of
he's a ghoul. I would consider him. Yeah. I would consider him a ghoul. They don't really say it outright, but because he's a dead vampire servant, pretty much. Because he's not a vampire, and there's like a lot of weird body horror descriptions with him.
Yeah,
that like that. I'm normally
he has to repair himself. Oh, like this part of me is hanging. I'll have to use some glue.
Yeah, which, like
what the hell?
Again, normally I wouldn't care, but this comes back to, who was this written for? Like, what is the age demographic here? Because it's like, you got drugs, you got alcohol, you have some swearing, but not all swearing. You've got
and then some gore.
You have like really weird graphic descriptions of gore. You have really weird graphic descriptions of like really graphic content. And that's why when I was reading it and like reading this, I felt like I was having whiplash, like legit whiplash, because I'm like, who is this for? like it's not for middle schoolers, it's not for high schoolers, it's not for avid readers. Who was this for? Like, I
might never know.
Yeah, and then like another thing is like, everyone in the book, like every point of view chapter, everyone is like judgmental as fuck. It's another thing that makes you not like anybody, is like everybody thinks that they're better than thou, and it's one of those like, how am I supposed to relate to you? And then
it's almost painful.
Oh god! And then there's weird bits at comedy that are like meant to be funny, but it's
cringy.
It's so cringy. Like there's a part where like it's at the end where like Marianne, I think Charlie, Elise's mom, Eric, all show up, and Arno like talks about like bagging them all because they're about to fight Vincent, and it's like okay, but why though? Like, why is this happening? Like, what? And then I don't know, maybe it was me, but the whole, like, when they finally got his head cut off, I felt it was, like, really anticlimactic. Like, they were building all of this up, and they were building him up as, like, he's gonna murder, because, oh, by the way, Johan has, like, a baby sister that's, like, I think just baby sister. I don't think she even has a name. But, like, Vincent's, like...
She does, but I think they mention it, like, once or twice.
But
I don't remember.
That's it. It's like, because, like, Vincent's like, hey, if you don't open the door, I'm gonna, like, rip her limbs off. Which, by the way, again, it's like, okay, threatening to rip a baby's arms off.
Yeah.
Who was this written for?
Because babies are good, according to Arno.
Yeah, and I'm like...
The way he describes, like, oh, I used to steal babies for Vincent's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Oh, and also the part where Johan is at that kebab place.
Oh my god, the racist kebab place.
Oh, Jesus. And,
okay, it wasn't just me. Like, when I read that, I was like, oh, I'm getting really bad racist undertones here. Like...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it wasn't just me, because I was really uncomfortable with the whole kebab place scene. Yeah. Because that was another... Okay, no, by the way, I'm not saying that a kebab place cannot exist in France. That's not what I'm saying. But it seemed just like... Why? Like, and there's, like, a lot of weird racist undertones that the character kind of brings into about the kebab place.
Yeah. Like, it could have been... honestly, I would have been less... creeped out if it was like a baking place, because there's a lot of or a cafe.
Yeah,
but it was a freaking kebab place, and the guys that were in there but butchered.
Yeah,
graphically butchered.
Yeah, graphically butchered. And then like, oh my god, there was a scene where I literally had to like, I full on. Like, I've been saying cringe, but this, like, when I read this, I literally, like, I closed my eyes, and I was just like, because it's like, oh god, it was when the first kebab guy gets butchered. And then it's like, because this is in Johan's chapter, which, by the way, another thing, too, is it's, like, the middle of the fucking night, so it would make more sense that it was a cafe, because, you know, coffee, like, then I don't know, like, anyway, but it's, like, there's literally a sentence, and again, I highlighted this, where it was, like, I screamed, and they screamed, but in Arabic, and I, like, Philip was like,
that wasn't necessary.
Yeah, I'm like, why was that, like...
Nope.
And then again,
that part made me so uncomfortable.
It made me so. It was so weird. What? It came out of fucking nowhere, and that's why I'm like, and I had to like think about it. I'm like, am I overthinking this? Am I thinking this is racist? But then like you telling me
because it doesn't seem like seamless. It's not like there is no purpose for that place to be a kebab place. There was no purpose.
There was no reason. There was no reason
that the guys were talking in Arabic.
There was no reason, and this is one of those scenes where like it is graphic. Like they really describe ripping these two poor Arabic men. Or no, technically three, right? Because
there was this other customer, this other patron who went out.
Yeah.
And this one we didn't. It wasn't graphic because the only thing you know is that he's being like, I don't know, like raptured.
Yeah.
Like he just disappears in the air.
Yeah, but it was the first time, like there were a lot of times in the book where I went like, okay, why? This was literally a like, what the fuck? Because it was so graphic, and again, it made no sense. And if I remember correctly, like they don't even call the police or like it's ever mentioned again that these poor Arabic men got butchered, and it really is one of those like. Why was this in there? There was no plot reason unless it's like, oh, we're gonna show Vincent being evil, but we already know Vincent is evil, so it's like it was so uncomfortable, and it made me actually stop reading for a bit. Like I finished the chapter, but I remember being like, I'm uncomfy. Like I am legit uncomfy right now. And it just seemed so out of left field.
Yeah, it was random completely. But
yeah. So again, it's the only other time I felt like uncomfy like that, and not to the same degree, was again the twist at the best friend being gay.
Oh yeah,
because it's like what? Why? and then like, you know, and then they harken back, like the ending, they harken back, because like, okay, the reason why this all starts was that, which I know we've been all over the damn place, but hey, we're rusty, but it starts off because Arno transfers to their school, and he's just a really weird kid, and he does a lot of like stereotypical vampire things that I actually thought were pretty funny, you know? But then it's like, because the whole reason why they're together and stuff and they become friends and they meet is because of the fact that the school kind of picks her to be like his like show around person, and then it just happens that that he and Vincent live in the abandoned apartment at the penthouse, you know, and it's like they explain, because like there's a part, I think it's like right after Elise turns or something, where it's like, yeah, we just like Vincent murdered the owners of the penthouse, which I remember taking a note of, because I was like, but wait, they said the penthouse was abandoned, so how is it abandoned but there were people living there? Because the whole reason why Arno,
they had a child who was supposed to start school, and that's his place.
And that's why Arno went, because Arno went to school so that like the police wouldn't like be weirded out that like a kid's missing, you know, and I guess that rich family who owned the penthouse, I guess no one just cared about them. They had no friends and family, like none of them.
And they weren't living there because so like the way he describes that place.
Yeah, and
it's it's rotting away.
Yeah. Like I said, like no one's lived there for years. But then it also gets to a point where, like, at the very end of the book, after, you know, Vincent's dead, you know, fucking Elise got the boyfriend who's still a douche, and she's still a douche, and I guess Charlie's gay now. And then, like, Arno's there, because they're talking about, like, what's gonna happen, and then I guess Arno is, like, gonna go buddy up with fucking Charlie, because they kind of, like, hint at that. But then it's, like, it ends with Arno being like, I'm so glad that I went to school, because now I made all these amazing friends. And I'm like, wait, bitch, you guys went to school in, like, the first 2 chapters of the book. Yeah. And then you never went back to school. Like, none of them ever went back to class. And it wasn't, like, summer or anything. So it was, like, it was a really weird wrap-up where it was like, okay, but why? like,
okay, we're done.
Yeah, and we're done. And that's when I read the whole synopsis thing, and then I looked into the fact that this author has, like, multiple awards, and he's an author of a critically acclaimed series, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's, wow. That's a hashtag, vampire. Shit, what was the rest of it?
Oh, hashtag vampire dead and unusual.
Yeah, that was it. We gave our rating, but all right, before we head out, because Val actually has to do stuff pretty soon here.
I just want to mention.
Oh yeah,
like I just checked Ghouls Next Door.
Yeah.
It says like there's only 2 ratings on Amazon. Okay, they're both 5 stars.
Oh, on Amazon, yeah, but on Goodreads, and I found articles about it, so it's like a big book series. It probably just doesn't have...
Okay.
Again, I think it is because that's meant for middle school, the Ghouls Next Door. Like, they've always said it's for middle schoolers, and I don't personally know a lot of middle schoolers that use Goodreads and Amazon reviews. That's usually for, like, teenagers and young adults. I mean, I'm sure there are some, you know, but yeah, like, it actually won awards, and it's on the Penguin Random House website, and Penguin Random House is, like, a big publishing company, so it's yeah. What was I gonna say? But oh, right. See, already going off on a tangent here again. But
yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. This was so much fun. I miss doing this. I can't wait for next month. So, Val, do you want to tell them what next month's book's gonna be?
Did we pick a book?
Yeah, we both bought it.
Wait, which one is it?
Oh my god, Val, are you serious?
I'm sorry. Which one was it?
Oh my god. Okay, it's the Abels 2. It's Strings.
Oh!
We both pre-ordered the book. We were both
oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry.
So Val is also kind of getting over a cold right now, or you think you might be getting a cold, so
yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean I'm it's my usual way anyway. It's not because I have a cold. I am forgetful.
Oh, I am too. I just think that's funny. So yeah, November's book is by the way, I don't know when exactly in November it's going to be up. It's going to be up sometime in November. Because Val's going on a trip to Japan really soon.
Yes, if everything goes right.
That's right. So keep your fingers crossed. Give Val good wishes, which is why we're recording it now, and we need to pick a quick book. But if you guys are fans of the previous book Rambles, which by the way I will have a link in the description, and if I have an end card, I'll boop the little like playlist to our I think it's like 4 episodes of the book Rambles before it happened. Yeah. And the Abels was a book that we did, and it is still to this day one of my top 10 books.
Yes.
I loved the Abels, and so when Jeremy Scott announced this year that he was actually working on an Abels 2, and I guess it takes place like 2 years after the first one, I got so excited. I pre-ordered the second I found out. I told Val and the second she found out. Yeah, it's out. I own a physical copy. Did you get a physical copy or a Kindle copy?
Oh, no, a Kindle copy.
Okay, so yeah, next month, November's book is going is going to be Strings by Jeremy Scott, if you want to read that. And yeah, so let's, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of October and enjoy future Book Rambles podcasts. We love you all so much. Many smetches.
Smoochies.
And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.